Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people. Welcome to the Funk McLovin Q&A. Whenever I say Funk McLovin too quickly, it sounds like Fuck McLovin. At work, I had like a glass or a cup or something, and I wrote Funk on it, and my boss thought I wrote Fuck on my cup and got mad at me. But that's just how it is in this bitch of an earth. I'm drinking brisk iced tea with lemon. Um, Someone brought this to a potluck, and they just said, "Take home all the brisk," and I said, "Okay." So I've had a supply of brisk for the past like 3 weeks. All right, let's get into the Q&A. I'm not gonna fuck around. I asked on YouTube and Twitter some Q&A questions. If you have any more questions, ask them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them if I feel like it. And if I don't feel like it, you can go kick rocks. So here we go. This is in no particular order, just in the order that it's appearing. Question 1 from Zeta Alpha 5110. Will Homestuck AU dive deeper into the troll session? Yes. Oh, yes. Act 3, which is being worked on right now. We're doing we're gonna do a cast announcement very soon. So keep your peepers peeled, and we will get to that when we get to it. There's a lot of art coming down the pipe. Am I recording? I just realized that. Yes. Okay. I'm giving a lot of energy for me to not be recording right now. It's 1:12 a.m. and I'm this is the last thing I'm gonna do before I'm going to sleep. Anyway, Jesus Christ, this is unfucking watchable. But the answer is yes. We will be diving deeper into the troll session. That is what Act 3 is all about. Acts 1 and 2 are a condensation of the early acts of Homestuck. Act 3 is a expansion of Hivebent, if that is even fucking possible. Not an expansion in terms of word count, expansion in terms of actual events and happenings. Come here. Oh, my cat. You'll see my cat before this ends. Anyway. Sapphire Grace 1399 asks, do you think you will shorten or extend beyond the original Homestuck? I understand audio content is a different media. Are there parts you're going to remove or cut down, or are there parts you want to make longer and add beyond establishing Dave's old friends? Second, Homestuck has a lot of characters that got little development. You develop them more. The plan originally was to take the characters with little development and kind of expand them and shrink down some of the characters that got more into something more concise. But I've come to realize over writing Hivebent that some of these characters don't need more shit. Like, there's 12 of them. We don't need that many. I will say there are 3 main characters who are getting more, shall we say, expansion. Number 1 is Nepeta, for you Nepeta fans out there, which I know there are. I know there are of you. You all watch my video on Nepeta. Nepeta is the first one. Karkat is the second one, and Terezi is the third one. Now, those were kind of the main trolls in the earlier stuff, but especially Terezi and Karkat in Act 6 get kind of sidelined, and we're going to try to prevent that, but shorten or extend? That was the other part of the question. Well, I don't know. I can't predict that. Right now, let's find out the word count here. I don't know the word count of my story. 64,000. It's probably like 90,000 by now. That's the length of one Harry Potter book. How many words in Homestuck? I predict there'll probably be double that. Yeah, it'll be way less than 800,000. I would guess probably like 200 to 300,000 words in Homestuck AU once it's finished. Now, if I'm wrong, which I might be, it probably still will not be anywhere close to 800,000. I hope this doesn't become ironic in a couple years when it's done. But anyway, love what you're doing. Best of luck on rewriting Homestuck. Thank you very much. Next question. What surprises happened during the making of Act 1 or Act 2? By surprise, I mean happy accidents that would occur when creating writing scenes or characters. Surprises? I don't think there were many surprises. I think that I'm kind of astonished at how smooth, buttery smooth the production of Act 1 and 2 went. There were a lot of mistakes that were made, which I'm still frustrated about, because I am one person, still. I am still one person, and I do fuck up constantly. And there are a lot of comments on my videos saying, like, hey, did you mean to say this here? You dumb idiot. Did you mean to say this here? Hey, what does this mean? It's something I forgot to expand upon. And so I am frustrated with that, but I'm only a little bit frustrated with that. I'm only frustrated like the same way that you would be frustrated if you like posted a piece of art on twitter.com and like you noticed a big fuck up with it, but like it's still got, you know, thousands of likes. Like it's fine. People like it. Nothing has to be perfect. But yeah, other than that, it was buttery smooth. All the voice actors that I've worked with are like on the ball. Every artist that I've worked with has made wonderful content so far, especially Sunny D, who has done all of the thumbnail art. So yeah, I don't know. There's nothing. I got nothing. Surprises, zilch, and that's good. The fly came around in my face. Happy accidents. I would say that. Oh, I know one. We were originally going to make June trans later on, but we kind of jumped the gun because we decided it was kind of heavy-handed, and not making her trans sooner would have kind of extended a joke past its welcome. The joke being all of June's friends knowing she's trans before she knows, and that just kind of didn't happen how we wanted, which kind of made it so like, oh, okay, June gets a lot of her trans notions from like her dream self or her nana, and that was great. We were originally going to do it all the way in Act 4, so after this act that I'm producing right now, but we ended up doing it in more Act 2 with Nana. So yeah, I guess that's it. More of a personal preference, but the way you've been writing Act 3, is there a character's perspective you've enjoyed writing the most? Yes, definitely. Carcat in this thing is very different. He is more, shall we say, militant. I've chosen to make him a bigger... part of the theme is making all of these characters connected to the culture that they come from. And for the humans, that meant, you know, grounding them in their neighborhoods. Like, we see John's neighbors die in the meteor strikes. We see Chad Buskin. And for Carcat, we also have a Chad Buskin-esque figure who will appear and die very quickly. That's not a spoiler, don't worry. It happens right away. So grounding Carcat in that space. I've also loved writing Pfeffery, because Pfeffery is like also very different in this, which you'll see. I'm going to leave that up to what you do. And then Gamzee, obviously. Gamzee, from the beginning, has been different, and that is thanks to Daft Class, a very good friend, appeared on the podcast. I don't know, Daft's Gamzee ideas are like fucking bellissimo. They're very good. We love Gamzee, and the guy we got for Gamzee is a killer. He is killer. He's perfect. He hasn't killed anyone, but he's perfect. Any plans for updating? This is Duality's Downfall. I believe Duality's Downfall is or was a patron, so thank you, Duality's Downfall. Any plans for updating AO3 version of HSU? Yikes. Okay. As stated, I'm only one person. The AO3 version and the MSPFA version are not updated. I have a full-time job. I have to work on HSAU pretty much constantly. So I don't really have time to do AO3, so I do need help in that department. But I have a very particular way of doing things, so I don't think I'm going to reach out to help because I'm stubborn and lazy. So it's going to be up, but like it's going to take a while, all right? So I apologize. But thank you, Duality's Downfall. I appreciate it. I'm glad somebody's looking at the AO3 version, because it's a lot of work getting those to work with all the quirks and whatnot. What does this say? Haiku heroism. Will there be more opportunities to voice act? I didn't get around to sending my edition in time. Yes, not big parts though. The ship has kind of sailed on large parts. We already have all of the stuff lined up, and a lot of the stuff in the future is also spoken for, so don't hold your breath. Sorry if that's blunt. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. I know that a project like this generated a lot of hype for a lot of the people who wanted to voice act, and I really wanted to state up front, like, not a lot of people are going to be able to do that. This is a very small project. Don't, temper your expectations, but there will be opportunities to audition later. Who's this? Sulio1052 asks, do you have a good way of coming up with ideas for the fan venture? Is it a fan venture? I guess it is a fan venture. I'm a fan and I'm creating an adventure, so it's a fan venture. Or does it hit like a strange vision sent by shadow creatures? Definitely strange vision. My writing process is like this. I probably have a very rudimentary writing process where I just kind of write stream of consciousness, one draft. I throw it away, I scrap it, I toss it in the garbage, and then I write what I call the real first draft, which has all the cleaned up details, and I kind of try harder. And then I only really draft things once. I don't really like to fuck around with multiple drafts. And that has an advantage in that, hey, this is great. Getting it right the first time is my key, and then going over it again and redrafting it maybe once or twice. I think with Act 3, I went over it several times because what I had wasn't really what I wanted. But yeah, I draft one thing, just totally stream of consciousness. I throw it out in the garbage every single time. I write a second draft that is like the real one. I go over that and edit it as much as I need to. And that's it. And how I get ideas, I really don't know. I have never thought about my process ever, because if I think about my process, I will stop being able to do it. All I do is try to intuit, like, what is good about my art and what is bad about my art and what I want better and what I want worse, and keep that in mind for next time. But the actual process of typing, I don't really think you can quantify that or like think about it in any way. And I don't really want to either, because I'm an obstinate, stubborn son of a bitch. So yeah, it does hit me like shadow creatures. The shadow creatures come into my home and they bonk me with sticks, and the concussions give me ideas. And that's how it works. Do you have a clear goal for the amount of acts you want to complete? Yes. I'm not going with the flow on this. This is fucking set in stone. I'm doing 6 acts. No. How many acts am I doing? I did 2. I'm doing a third one for Hivebent. Another one for the rest of Act 5 or up to Cascade. And then I was going to do... I don't remember if I said 4 more or 2 more. So I guess 6 or 8. No in between. 6 or 8. 6 or 8 acts. And they're all going to be about the same length. Act 6 is going to be a real toss-up for how long that takes, because I don't really know how much it can be condensed, or how much it needs, or how much I'm going to add. So that is going to really depend. But I want to keep it to a nice even number. So 6 or 8. Okay. How you organized everything. How you organized this sentence. Mikaro7774. Do you have everything already figured out, or is it or it just appeared as you continue advancing on the story? Same thing with my writing process. My writing process is intentionally chaotic. I like to inject as much chaos into my life as humanly possible. I like to walk in front of cars on the street. I like to drink poison, and I like to write like a maniac, like if Stephen King took a bunch of fucking Adderall or something. I think Stephen King's probably on Adderall, right? He's got to be. Anyway, I don't want to cast aspersions on Stephen King, so whatever. If he's not on Adderall, there you go. But I try to... I don't know. I don't really try to figure stuff out. I just figure it out as I go, and I make that process as quick and painless as I can on myself. I really like writing mechanically. I like typing words. I like to do that. A lot of my process also involves voice to speech because I have pretty bad dyslexia, and I just like my first draft usually involves a lot of actual spoken word. Let's see if I can pull one up. Oh, old. This is how my. Oh God. No, this is all. Oh God. What even is this? Anyway, I can't find anything. But yeah, it's pretty basically stream of consciousness. I guess my thing is like a lot of people worry a lot about like, oh, you have to organize everything. It's like, no, you don't really have to do that. You probably should have like an idea of what you're gonna do going forward, but you're probably gonna figure it out as you go. Like, if you can't figure it out as you go and you need like these huge planning documents, you're probably doing something other than like writing a book, because a book does not need that much shit. Like J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a bunch of supplemental material, but you know, it never got used for his actual stories. If you're writing stories like I am, all you really need is just to like shit it out as you go along, and then you know give it an editing pass so it all makes sense. And I'm oversimplifying. This is greatly oversimplifying. Mom, if you're watching this, my mom's a creative writing, or she's a writing teacher rather. If you're watching this, don't listen. Don't listen. It's fine. I don't really do this. I'm just joking around. All right, that's all the YouTube questions. I'm glad it only took a couple minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Now we're gonna go to the Twitter questions. Solved Paradox, Mutual on Twitter, asks, on a scale of sad man in an office to Pagliacci's painted taint, great sentence already, how much clown has Gamzee retained in this version of the story? 10 out of 10, full marks. He's a clown. He's kind of sad, though. He's a sad clown. He's more juggalo in this. He's like, I live in Michigan, and there are a lot of juggalos where I come from. And he's based on a lot of them. Like, I was lucky enough to have Daft, who is a Gamzee liker, to sort of talk about I have my personal experience with the juggalos and that kind of thing. I don't consider myself a juggalo, but I do love Insane Clown Posse. I did sound for them once. This is a true story. You can look it up. I think it's on my channel, like a way old video. I'll try to link it in the description. But I did sound for ICP once, so I have a lot of experience with them. And then Daft has a lot of cool ideas that I cannot do justice right here, but in the podcast. 2, is this a French Vriska-free narrative? No French Vriska. We will not see any French Vriska. I don't know what that is. It sounds horrible. Catch the Rainbow says, how is Chad Buskin holding up? Pour one out for the homies. Pour one out into my mouth for the homies. He's dead. He's fucking gone. He will never appear in Homestuck again. He's done. He's dead. How did you develop all the newer, different from the Homestuck details of the story? And what gave you the push to say fuck it and start making it? I developed all the new, different from Homestuck stuff, as I said, in my writing process, which is just shitting things out and seeing what sticks to the wall. As well as the planning podcast we had before this, Rewriting Homestuck. Very good podcast. I'm not biased at all. What gave me the push to say fuck it and start making it? I don't know. If there's one thing I'm proud of in life, it's my work ethic. I've never really had trouble. Like, there's this whole, like, ADHD autism thing of, like, oh, I can't finish project. It's like, I don't have that problem. I don't know why. I don't know how I did it. I did a song a day for a year. That was, pretty fun. I've done a themed Halloween week with songs every year. I did the Rosemary month. I don't really have a problem with finishing things. I think my other thing that allows me to finish things is I never let perfection be the enemy of good, because everything you make will have a little tiny mistake in it. And if you let that really bug you and get under your skin, you're going to have a bad time. You are going to be sad and depressed and lonely and horrible. And you're going to look back at that shit in like 10 years and think, that was pretty good. And you're probably going to stop noticing the mistakes, and you're going to start thinking like, ugh, oh man, I got so much better than 10 years ago. That was great. So, I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say. Like, just do it. It doesn't matter. If you wait for your stuff to be perfect, you're gonna be waiting forever, and you're never gonna put anything out, and you're gonna die alone and friendless without any legacy. So there you go. Will there be more character voice applications, or all the slots filled? I already asked that question up top. Are you looking for any more artists to join your team? I already asked that question up top. I have one question. Why did June's dream self need to be bonked in the head at Act 2, Episode 1? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. What? I remember. Okay. I think I fucked up and didn't explain this very well. So, at the end of Act 2, oh my god. I'm about to freak my own bean. I think this was a mistake on my part. This might have been a mistake. If not, it was a mistake of how I explained it. So, at the end of Act 2... Okay, this is going to be hard to explain. At the end of Act 2, the Midnight Crew... Sorry, the Suits, not the Midnight Crew. They send Queen, and they send... They send Ace and Queen to do dream duty. So, we later see Queen, a.k.a. Heart's Boxcars, in Jade's tower as a maid. And he does not attack her because she's already awake and takes a shine to him. But he is the one who knocks out June. And that needed to happen for two reasons. One, to sort of set up that character, which wasn't done very well because I think I did a different voice for those two. And two, because June did not... all that scene needed to be was like an awakening, like, hey, I'm June, I'm on Prospect, what's going on? And then someone comes in and bashes him on the head, and it creates intrigue. So I think I fucked up and should have written that better. But I don't know, I kind of like that. I kind of like a little mysterious scene that doesn't really make sense. I think all the best pieces of work have a little mysterious scene that doesn't make sense. Do you plan on using the Buskin Squad for future content within series, such as the Doom timeline? No. Chad is gone forever. You'll never see Chad again. Chad is off the map. Put Chad out of your brain. I don't want to hear anything about Chad, folks. Anyway. I'm so sorry. I need to read HSAU. This is just a comment. Yeah, I think everyone needs to read HSAU. I think it should be required reading in all curriculums in schools. Am I still recording? Okay, good. Was there anything you had to cut that you wish you could have kept? Also, will we get any more bullshit speedrun strats like what Rose pulled off? Yes, Rose's whole thing is about speedrunning. The 4 beta kids, I'm writing them with... this is the approach. I'm writing them with this sort of approach, where June is playing the game very badly. She's bad at the game. She doesn't like it. It's just not a game she likes. Jade is playing the game and she loves it, and she is really into it, and she like starts to solve her stuff and do that. Dave is like one of those fuckers who like optimizes things, like, oh yeah, you have to have the right build, and you have to maximize your speechcraft right away so you can pass the checks and shit like that. Whereas Rose is like the speedrunner who is gonna break the game and fuck around and like get the best gear right away. She's going to break the rules. So that is the kind of 4 approaches, the spectrum that I'm writing them with. It's really fun. It's very fun. Is there anything I cut that I had to get? I didn't cut shit. It was great. Listen, I'm making this on my own. I don't have to cut anything. I can make this go as long as I want. I don't have any constraints. other than my own sort of hubris. And that has not been reached yet. Keyword yet. But yeah, I didn't have to cut anything. It was awesome. I will say that I did have to. So here's an example. Again, here's some of my files. So Act 3, here's something. This is the final file. Here, I'll show you. Doo-doo-doo. These are the final files for Act 3 about this Chapter 1 to Chapter 8. And there's sort of interstitial chapters. So this is all of Act 3 plus the intermission plus there's a prologue. So this number of files and everything else. These 4 folders are entirely full of other takes of these entire chapters that I just fucking threw out. Get away from me, restart Windows. Get out of here. Anyway, because I didn't have, it wasn't right. And so that is kind of what I cut. And there's a lot of cool dialogues in there that I'm going to try to incorporate and have my voice actors record so I can have them in the pocket. So I didn't really cut anything. Like, I didn't have any scenes that I left out because I think everything's paced like pretty good. I'm pretty happy with like how it's paced. It reads like a very swift audiobook, I think. And that's kind of how I wanted it to be. So no, there's nothing really that I had to cut at all, other than, scrapped versions of other chapters. Well, there was some stuff with Chad that I was going to extend, but he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. What were some elements that you decided had to be cut or slimmed down? Same question. From the original. All the fucking alchemy bullshit. Like, a lot of people love the alchemy, and I will admit I love the alchemy too, but it has no place in this narrative, in my opinion. It was like what I was talking about earlier with like J.R.R. Tolkien's supplementary materials. There didn't need to be that much, right? You don't need to see all the gears working. You don't need to see all this stuff. I even eliminated alchemy entirely and made everything about ectobiology and slime manipulation, because I just didn't want to deal with the alchemy, which did kind of break my heart because I do love the alchemy, but it just didn't work. It did not work. It slows everything down. The endless fucking around to get in the game was also cut. There's a lot of fucking around that does not happen in Act 1. Like, everything in Act 1 and 2 is just kind of bing, bang, boom, you're done. And I think that you do lose a lot of, like, sort of personality to Homestuck. But at the same time, I think cutting those things is a good choice because I'm not trying to replace Homestuck. That's an idiotic thing to want to do. What I'm trying to do is make a kind of a companion piece, I guess. A companion piece to Homestuck where I can say, I deleted these things to try to make it a little bit smoother. But if you like the alchemy, it's still in Homestuck. So there you go. Read Homestuck. It's read it through Bam Bosch's unofficial Homestuck collection. Jar says, I don't have any questions. I'm just excited. Thank you, Jar. Is Hal going to be a Prince of Heart, or is he going to have his own class or aspect? Funny you should say that. He's going to have his own planet. He's going to have his own thing. He's his own character. There's 5 alpha kids in Homestuck AU, and Hal is one of them. Do you ever find yourself writing... Oh, this is Janaya, she is one of my voice actors, which is great. Do you ever find yourself writing characters a certain way due to the personality of the voice given to them? Yes. Funny Janaya asks, Kanaya was written with Janaya in mind because Janaya is Kanaya and vice versa. Rose was written with the voice of Articulately Composed, who plays Rose, in mind. Not necessarily her personality. I think Rose is much more brash than the real Articulately Composed, but certainly her voice is perfect, I think. And then the trolls, I did change a couple lines because of who was voicing who. My Nepeta voice actor actually asked me, hey, can you make Nepeta more fucking miserable? I can't wait to play miserable Nepeta, and that kind of stuck with me. So I tried to incorporate miserable Nepeta somewhere. Will there be good prose fight scenes? Asks Faunus Medici Desaad. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes. Simple answer. Yes. Additionally, will the god tier powers and class specs be explored and utilized more with your own interpretations? Yes. There will be... really, I think god tier is one of the more tight aspects of Homestuck lore. I'm going to leave it as is. They're going to die on their quest bed and come back to life as their dream self. That's, pretty standard. There will be more with class specs, so, you know. Is there Karkat Jr. in this AU? Asks Rundar. No. Probably in the, maybe like a epilogue. Have you read Alabaster the Doomed Session? No, I have not. I think that's it. Wow. How about that? I answered all the Q's, and I gave all the A's, and I drank a whole brisk iced tea lemonade, 16 ounces. Wait. 12 ounces? 12 fluid ounces, no less. And I just want to say thank you. Have a great night. I was going to say something at the end, but I forgot it. My cat never came around, so you don't get to see my cats. I don't know how to end videos like this, so I guess bye-bye. How do you turn off I had a hotkey. What's the hotkey I set?